Hi everyone, I'm Selena Costa. I'm a story strategist and mindset coach, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to manifest the life of your dreams by using storytelling, as well as the disempowering stories that you're telling yourself right now that are keeping you from where you want to be. And make sure that you stick around to the end because I'm going to be offering a bonus to those of you who participate and comment below. Let's get started. So, did you know that your subconscious brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality? So there are tons of studies around this. One of my favorites is the scientist who took a group of athletes and measured their brain activity while they were physically skiing, and then took the same athletes and measured their brain activity as they were vividly visualizing themselves skiing. And what he found is that the brain activity in both reality and imagination was really very, very similar. So that's just one of the many fun studies that showcases this. So why is this important? This shows us that visualization is actually so incredibly powerful. Now, whether you're all about the science, like give me the logic realm, or I know some of you are more in the spiritual manifestation realm, both realms actually can come together in this, in agreement. Visualization is super powerful because you can actually project an imagination and turn that into reality in your mind's eye and get your subconscious mind acclimated with that image. So for example, if you are looking to manifest your dream house or your dream partner, or you want to get a promotion, you want to make a certain amount of money, and you really imagine it in your mind's eye over and over again. Imagine yourself being there. What would it look like? What would it feel like? What would it smell like? Who is around you? And really visually imagining this, what you're essentially doing is you're training your brain to get familiar with this image. So, for example, if you are looking to speak at a stage and you finally get that first gig, a really important exercise that is just as important as you actually speaking is you imagining yourself getting on that stage. What are you wearing? Who's out there? What does it look like? How do the lights, the spotlight feel on your face? And the more you imagine this, if you were to imagine this every single night for 10 minutes before you went to bed, which was when your subconscious brain is extremely active, then by the time you get on that stage, it feels fluid. It feels like you've already been there. So then that image becomes your reality. So that's just a little example. And so what does this have to do with storytelling? Well, storytelling is basically visualization on crack. So what you can actually do is what I call story design. So you can really take a look at your current story and actually create, using the power of visualization, you can create a story that you step into, that you become through this powerful imagination tool. So think about it this way. With visualization, you have one goal. For example, I want to speak on this stage. Let me visualize that. I want to get the promotion. Let me visualize that. And it's like a freeze frame, if you think about it. But with storytelling, you can actually take a series of visualizations, a series of images of what you want to create, and weave them together in one narrative, in one grand visualization that all ties in with each other. And that is visualization on crack, because you're not only seeing, for example, you're getting a promotion, but what you're seeing is the story of who you became to get that promotion. Who is around you? How is your family affected because of that promotion? What can you buy with that extra money? Who can you become? What are your next steps? And you can actually see an entire movie play out as a result of that one scene. So this is an example of how when you marry storytelling with visualization, you can actually become an extremely powerful manifester, and you can literally manifest the story of your dreams. So think about it this way. We are constantly telling ourselves disempowering stories about why we can't make enough money, why we can't be with a certain person, why we're not where we want to be in our lives right now, why someone didn't pay attention to us, why we're not more visible, and blah, 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 blah. We're always telling ourselves disempowering stories. Where do those stories come from? We're going back into the past and we're looking at all the ways that we have lived, whether it be in our childhood or years ago, that have proven to us why we can't do certain things. So what we do is we create stories around that. Oh, I can't make money because I grew up in a poor family, because I'm a single mom, because blah, blah, blah. Or, I'm not worthy of speaking or being noticed because I don't have any experience. Or I can't start this business. I don't have enough. I don't know enough. And this is all coming from our past. So these are stories that we are replaying in our head over and over and over again like a movie. And guess what that is? That is essentially the inverse of manifestation, because what we're doing is we're taking, instead of projecting and creating stories that we can live out in the present as well as in the future, we're just fishing for stories that disempower us in the past. And we're still going through this process of imagining this past story, of distorting what actually happened so that it basically meets our limiting beliefs, which is silly because you're spending time and energy playing movies in your head of things that have already happened and are not serving you, at least not the way you're perceiving them, when instead you can reallocate that same energy, time, and effort to play movies that are going to empower you, that are going to show you a better way. And now, that's not to say like to look at your past and just be like poo-hoo, like I don't care, but rather start even casting a lens of your past of all the reasons why you can't or shouldn't, or you're afraid, and actually asking yourself, how have these stories served me? How have they helped me become the person that I am today with the skill set that I have today? So really casting an empowering light on those past stories. And when you start to untangle these past stories and reframe them so that they're actually helping you and showing you why you ended up where you are right now, now you're in a place where you can say, let me start becoming the manifester of my own dream life, of my own future, of my own stories. How can I create this movie moving forward? So what are some ways that you can design your story? So think of something that you really want. For example, I can say, one day I want to be a speaker on a stage of thousands and thousands of people, yeah? And you can visualize that all you want. But what happens when you create a story around it? So for me, when I think about that moment, I don't just think about me being on a stage speaking to other people, but what is happening dynamically? What is the narrative of what is happening when I hit that point in my life? So, for example, it's a story around me being a well-known speaker, a multi-seven-figure entrepreneur, really known in my space. It's a story about me having a lot of free time, abundant income. It's a story about me having a powerful, amazing team and having time to see my family more and spend with my friends and just having a beautiful home, actually multiple homes in some of my favorite places in the world. And I could keep going and going and going, but essentially to give you an example, this is the story of the future that I'm creating, as well as on some level, the life that I'm living right now, because I have some elements of that right now and I'm just amplifying them, playing them up so that when I see my future, when I see my story, I'm like, this is the chapter that I'm writing right now, which is going to lead into the next chapter, which is going to lead into this next chapter. So this is a way of how you can take one visualization and turn it into an entire narrative that actually is going to shape the course of your life. So this is how you use storytelling to really manifest the life of your dream. And here's the cool part. When you start to get in the habit of doing this, of really looking into the future instead of basically bathing in your old disempowering stories all the time, when you flip your mindset and look at it this way, the cool part is that you also have a system to check in with yourself. So for example, when I'm making decisions right now in the present moment, what I think to myself is that woman who's living out this incredible story that I'm imagining over and over and over again, that I am training my subconscious mind to get familiar with as if it's already here. That woman, would she say yes to this specific decision? Would she want to take this certain path? So when I'm presented with new projects, new decisions, or I'm conflicted about something, I always ask myself, who is the woman that I want to become? And is that woman what would that woman do? And that allows me not only to visualize the future of my dreams, but also to act out of a place that I am already that person, which essentially brings that reality to me faster, because now I can see opportunities and I can take actions that maybe I wouldn't have taken if I was still living in that old story. You see what I mean? Extremely powerful tool when you make it a habit for you to do this for yourself every single day. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to tell a long narrative to yourself every night. But when you think about the things that you want to achieve, what is the story behind how you achieve that thing? And that's going to help train your subconscious mind to essentially turn that into reality. So as you start manifesting your story and designing your future story, really take a look at your old disempowering stories and see, again, how is it that they have served you get to this point? Make peace with the two narratives, the narrative of the past, your present, which is the connector, as well as the narrative of the future and where you are going. And start to see this practice of storytelling. It's a tool for healing. It's a tool for self-healing, first and foremost, because you can really understand how every moment in your life has actually led you to this point and how you can leverage your entire life story to create the next steps in your life. So it's a really beautiful healing tool to open your eyes to who you are and what your story is and what makes your experiences so unique and how you can help others, which is the second reason why you really want to be paying attention to this practice, is because as you're manifesting your story and the life of your dreams, you can help others do the same. You can help people, you can really guide them, because then your story, when you put it in an empowering lens, the past, what you can do is use that and extract lessons and actually give them to others so that they can learn from you as well. And as you're moving forward, you can prevent yourself from making the mistakes of the past. You can break patterns and prevent mistakes before those mistakes are even mistakes. So it's really amazing, again, to look at your narrative and treat it, to disassociate from it, to really take a step back and being like, okay, here's my past, which I cannot change, but I can change how I perceive it. Here's where I'm at right now, and here's what I want to manifest in the future from a third eye perspective. Okay, what is this narrative? What do I want to move around? How do I want to change these things that happened in the past, look at them differently, to see them as a gift, to see them as power instead of pain? What do I want to do right now? What are the actions that I want to take right now to be in the driver's seat of my story? And then looking at the future, okay, what do I want? Do I want this here? Do I want this there? And actually start rearranging your story like chapters out of a book that you're just switching around in the order that you want. And then you step back in and you live it. So it's a really cool way to be in control of your own narrative and manifest what you want to manifest. So I want to hear from you. What is one of your top disempowering stories that have really held you back from manifesting the life that you want to live? Drop it in the comments below. Tell me a little bit about it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of you, and then I'm going to go live and walk you through how you would flip that disempowering story into an empowering one that you can use as fuel for that story manifestation. Thank you, fam, so much for tuning in today. I hope that today's video was of insight, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video next week. Bye. Wow, I feel like I'm in a Bill Nye's Science Guy TV show. Imagination versus reality. So that's just, okay, I'm just gonna wing it. Fuck it. I'm smart. That was really fucking awesome. I'm awesome. I'm sweaty too.
Three little tootsies.
Okay. Anyways. I'm so nerdy.